Yo everyone, we have some new events in the set 4 meta. So we had a Chio Cup and then an Ultimate VGCS. So we're going to kind of go through them, right? We want to see what the new format is like, what are the coolest stuff happening there, and see what's up. Now, if you look at this top 16 breakdown, posted by Fuzzy, right? Made in that pie chart, you see that it is literally a Dragon Empire domination, right? Top 4 is literally just all Dragon Empire stuff. We've got Vargas, we've got Shoujo Dojis, we've got Equilibrias, Shurinuis, right? Everyone's still sick of Shiranui, but yeah, these 4 doing very, very well in the meta. But let's take a look. Let's take a real look at what's been going on. So our first top 4 cuts. Look at this first place. We have the full Dragon Empire team with the Shoujo Doji, Varga, and the Shiranui. So we'll take a look at that later. And after that, we're seeing some resurgence of the Ward. Leonor has gotten new support and just continues to be good, right? Every single set, new Leonor support. And then after that, we have like the Bling Deck, Shoujo Doji, and the Wellstra, and then another Shoujo. Like Shoujo Doji is still a really, really good deck. Right, still really, really good. So you're going to see this a lot, and if you invest in it, it's crazy. But this is the first time we're going to see also an Equilibria making top 4. This deck is pretty much like the deck coming out of set 4, I think. It's very popular, very crazy, and then a Vaga as well. So let's kind of take a look at just kind of the top 16, right? So a lot of decks. This one's Taunt's team. It's crazy. It was playing Michu in Chaos, right? Even like Leisha Fail. Is it tied second place? Wait, what? Actually, super tied second place. But yeah, Leisha Fail making an impact as well. So one thing that I haven't said is like Blamire got that new grade 2, and they're running like the grade 2 makes good power lines, so they're running some weird stuff to make it work. So we'll see it later. We're gonna take a look at all the decks that have been doing at least something, right? So this is pretty much fourth. You know, Lutetia, and then where was Diversity cut though? I think probably maybe here. Yeah, so I think the diversity cut is at 6, because you have a Leonor that's already seen, but you have 2 like free ones. Like everything afterwards is just there's always at least one deck, one ride line that is in the top cut. So probably around 5, 6. I mean, so it can't be too sure. But yeah, we can still see like Equilibria is doing well. Leonor, we see some verts, right? And a vert does it do anything? Not too sure. Equilibria. This is the winning team. Then moving on, like. One Raza, one Dayusha, but again, Impul as well. So this is a deck that I think a lot of people just kind of discounted, because to be real, it's a 3-attack deck, and still kind of surprising that we're seeing Impul with Equilibria. And then lastly was the top 16 with the Levy Drass. We have a Levy Drass, and we've got a ride line Leonor as well, just trying to sneak in an Alen, right? An Alen. Okay, I dig. But yeah, pretty cool. So first thing we're going to take a look, so this is the winning team deck, this is Shiranui. Not really much has changed, obviously, because why change a winning formula, yeah? Dual Nation, Shenri, nice combo. You can play it now. This is if you're playing Shiranui, this is the deck. This is how you're going to build it. It's just the best. Then the second deck we see is the Shoujo Doji, and again, not many changes. Why change perfection, right? Peak performance is right here. And then the third deck is the Vaga Deck. So actually, there are some changes. It's mainly the grade 3, though. So this new grade 3 is replacing the old, I think it's the Obscurity Dragon? But yeah, this one is an energy outlet. It does let you look at top 5 and grab something, but also it shuffles your deck. So that might be a good thing or a bad thing. You know, if you have if you're sorting old cyclers, you probably don't want to run that, because then you shuffle your cyclers back. I don't really think the shuffling is that important, right? Because I don't think you look through the majority of your deck and go, oh, my OT's at the bottom. I wish I had a card that can shuffle, because you don't really look at the deck at all as Vaga. So I think the main thing here is that it can just build a board, right? It can build something which is very important, because you retire stuff in the game, and then you also give your Vanguard plus 5k for the turn. So that might be cool, right? That might be cool. And then that's pretty much it. The rest of the deck is relatively similar to what it was before. And then they're just running like... You have people running the grade 1 Virgila just because the grade 1 is pretty much the most editable part of this. Actually cutting on the two mid-hats only. Okay, that's 2 mid-hat and 2 Piranhas. Okay. Then after that, we do have we're taking a look at one of the Leonors. This was the ride line Leonor running the old TD one, just to kind of sneak it in. But you can see that they got new support. Leonor got some new support in the new set. This one actually just searches for a for a Leonor grade 3 or higher, which is pretty good. It's pretty good, right? The main reason why you're losing this deck is you don't get your Unison Dress Leonor. So if this can at least search for it, or have a chance to search for it, right? Then it's a good thing. And even if you miss, you still draw one. So you're looking at a lot, but also you do get like, you get like boost 10k plus 5k and 10k. This is pretty much like everything you want in your Leonor deck. So another piece is satisfied for this deck, which is great. This one is not running any Luster impacts though, which is, I guess this kind of can replace that because it's like a CB1 draw kind of thing. But yeah, and you don't really have CB problems because you have this grade 1 that just kind of counter charges when you need to, right? So overall, pretty interesting. Leonor just continues to get stronger. After that, we have Blamire. So again, this is another one. So the tech here is you have the new grade 2. This guy gets a bunch of power, and it should be able to call something, right? So it does basically everything you want. But yeah, it gets like 5 up for every 4 cards in your bind zone. It gets plus 10k. So it generally can get pretty big. At some point, it can become like 30k on your Divine's skill turn. And what they've been doing is they've been running the Dark Stage hostage kind of order, but this isn't the hostage order. This is actually a totally different order. It searches the deck for this one, and this one just gives a card boost at the beginning of the battle phase. So you'd give it to the grade 2, and then the grade 2 like boosts your important units, but it becomes so big, right? They'll become so big that your opponent will not be able to guard it. So this combo is especially deadly on the Divine skill turn, where you'll make columns where your opponent just they just can't guard, right? No PG, no life, right? So that's just kind of how it is. So pretty cool to see just a couple of edits, and this deck suddenly becomes a very viable tier. Let's put it that way. So we have this Wellstra. So Wellstra also got some new support in the new set. So this one running Freiheit and the grade 2, but this one is only running 1 Booble. It's crazy. But that's because this dog boy, I guess, also can counter charge or energy charge too. But I think you're mainly gonna energy charge counter charge 1, right? You're mainly gonna counter charge 1. So this is just when it gets discarded as well. Your Vanguard is a blitz. You can put into Soul, and then if you put it into Soul, you can counter charge 1. So pretty nice, but also gives like Wellstra, even Wellstra Vanguard, you know, plus 5k. Also gets shield as well if your Vanguard's a blitz. So it does a lot of things in just one package. And the other one is this girl, this elf girl. And this one actually uses your... So the first phase, when it gets discarded during the ride phase or the main phase, you can just call it onto the board if your Vanguard is Wellstra. The second one is an energy outlet. Because bear in mind, the main energy outlets for Wellstra so far has been just the Cycler. If you run it, not every deck runs it. But also the Wellstra himself doesn't Energy Blast 3. It actually Energy Blast 2, so you do go positive in energy. But this is a big energy outlet where you go like Energy Blast 4, and then you can basically activate a product that is equal to or less than your opponent's grade. And then for that turn, that product's original cost is reduced by 1 counterblast. So this lets you spam Maxim, for example, and just kind of just go ham. So pretty cool. And these 2 cards, I guess, doing okay. But still a lot to go. Right? Still a lot to go. Next is Equilibria. So quite a couple of builds for this deck out right now. This one is actually still running the grade 3, which I don't know. I feel like it's okay, but it's not too insane of a card because it does contest for energy. But everyone's still picked up the idea that the Ford is a really good card, and if you combo it with Shenri, it's also a very good card. So once you have that combo going, life is good. But they're also running 1 Order Searcher. So what a lot of decks have been doing is running a bunch of copies of the Equilibrial order to be able to, like, in certain situations to call cards out. And this can help you dig. This is like an extra copy that can help you dig for that. And then in terms of the grade 1s, you definitely are running like 8 of the grade 1s here that overcharge. Basically, if they're overcharged, you're putting in the deck. Even the grade 3, right? So that's how it is. Running draws as well. Wow, okay. Next is Blamire. So this one again is just got the new dragon, but this one is not running any of the boosties stuff. So I guess it just wants to hit big by itself, but obviously you'd obviously want to take this with you, right? Because it can get a crit. So I don't know. Pretty interesting one. Running red OT as well. Yeah, good to see this deck doing something, I guess, right? After that, we have another Leonor. So this one running 1 Luster Impact, but as you can see, you're still running 1/4 of the new card because it's just that good. Cutting down on some Broccolinis, and then also running one Hostage, grade 2, and then 2 of the Orders. So adding some defensive options there. Then we have the Impul. So this is kind of the interesting. There is one thing I really like to point out here. But yeah, let's just take a quick look at the Impul. You're definitely running 4 of the Twin Driver. People are running like X copies of the generic grade 3 dragons, I guess. It's like the Sages type of dragons. This one's running 3 of the grade 3. Is like just is like a dragon, right? Is it? It's not that good. That's the problem. Like, you can get bruised, you give your front row 5k, but to be fair, like, your front row should already be hitting pretty big because of the gauges, right? I guess you can hit over triggers, but also it's like a Soul Blast outlet. Like, one thing I do notice with this deck is that you put a lot of things in Soul, but you don't get a lot of things out of Soul, right? One of the things, yeah, so one of the things I want to say is, like, this monster card is pretty cool because you have like plus 15k shield if you have enough gauges, and they're running like 3 copies of this Blitz order that calls 2 different named grade 2 or higher cards into the guidance. So you can actually call these out, right, and just keep on cashing in on that big shield value, right? Yeah, I'm not seeing things wrong, right? So that's a nice, neat little combo. And then after that, we have like just the grade 1, like, you know, put into Soul, kind of search top 5 kind of thing. Also the energy cycles, because you just don't have an energy outlet. So yeah, 4 Bromines, because Bromines are good too. So yeah, that's Impuldio. Nothing really seems too outrageous so far. It just seems like a very normal 3-attack deck. Yeah. Then after that, we have is the Equilibria again. So this one's running more similar to what we were looking at before, right? In like preliminary deck vids. So this one doesn't have the forward, but it's actually running Brachioforce, because again, Brachioforce plus one of these grade 1s boosting it after getting overcharged. Just like a lot of power. Like a lot of power. That it's very, very hard to, like, you know, guard. But then if you don't guard, you have to eat an on hit, which can be really annoying. So yeah, pretty cool seeing the Brachioforce back. Yeah. Then next we have is another Impuldio list. So this is cashing in less on this grade 3, but also running other stuff. So this grade 2 has been seeing a lot of discussion, and I think the price has written for this. The main thing is that when you want to consider how the gauges work in Impuldio is that in order to put a gauge, you have to put something from the drop zone into the gauge. So what you want to do is, like, you probably guard, and in the next damage, you can put that card into the gauge, but then you have to guard again. This one tries to solve that issue where, like, you Soul Blast 1, which generates a card into the drop zone at grade 2. And then you draw a card and then discard a card. So that's putting in 2 gauges into the drop zone while putting on some pressure, I guess? Yeah, maybe? You already have a set order there in your set order zone because the system core thing, whatever. But yeah, this is kind of interesting idea. It can hit 15k, so it hits a nice number in the early game. Fills up your drop zone, which is important to generate gauges. So yeah, pretty interesting tech. And the rest of it is just whatever, right? Only running 2 of the Blitz order, which is fine. It's fine because, you know, you're still at least getting some value, and just with the Sanctitude as well. Yeah. Next is another Equilibrial. So this one is just not running the grade 3 at all. Energy Blast grade 3 at all, which I think is correct. I feel like it's just too low value. It's just not good enough. But I think the interesting thing is just everyone running 1 of the grade 1 here. Just all decks running 1 grade 1. So you can search your deck and get an order, right? But the only order I think you can only get is this one, because it's such a non-regulus piece, right? Yeah, so you can only get this one. But this like is just a plus 2 on the board, which is really strong. Again, all the grade 1s are maxed out because that's how you put on pressure, and the rest of it is kind of self-explanatory, I guess. You know, why would you not run 4 Persona Rides, 4 Brachioforce with pressure? Yeah, the restander as you see fit. So cool. Next is just on the Leisha fail. So this one running the grade 3 and also the countercharger grade 1 package. So yeah, has a nice column to suck in, and the rest I guess is what you'd expect. Running 4 energy cyclers though. I think Velshaban is still pretty good because there's like a multi purpose effect where you can use it as a cycler, but also as just a front row plus 5k to kind of get the ball going. But yeah, that's pretty much this deck, right? At least you feel actually seeing some tops, which is interesting, right? It's interesting. Next up is an Alen. So Alen, I think, has been hyped up quite a bit. It's been like the high lows and the low highs. It's just people calling it bad, then it's really good, then it's bad. It's been going on. This deck is pretty Keter as it gets. So you have the Leonor and Teethfelt combo, right? And then just with the Wisdom. So this part's already set. New Forster on the Persona Ride, and then the new Jewel Knight Girl, just to help them out. So a lot of this deck is overall pretty set, but I see people still running this PR, which essentially just gives you another attack, like a CB1 to stand at one of your regards for like the second effect. So you can at least make either like 5 attacks very easily or just make a full board restand. So that's kind of the interesting text there. But yeah, the Keter pile, running 1 counter charger. This is also something that's been popping up in a lot of decks. So Elmac, this guy just gets a bunch of power if you're ordered. I do expect to see more of this later, well, in the developing situation, just because this deck, I think, has been hyped up quite a bit. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. After that, we have is another Equilibria. I just got all of them. I got all the Equilibrias, right? This one is actually running 4. It's got the full combo in a way, right? You know, the True Force Shenries, the Brachio Force, and yeah, this feels like getting closer to those preliminary decks I made for at least Equilibria, which is good to see, right? It's good to see. We have a Levy Drass. So 1 Levy Drass. This one, I didn't think it'd be that good. It did show up once, which is nice to see. Running a bunch of just Philanders, really? Philanders? Okay. It's also running the Cat Girl, so it can call things. And yeah, just overall, yeah, Chili Crit, very nice. Just it can make 5 attacks, so pretty cool to see how it goes. But right now, I feel like it's one of those slower setup decks in a format that is really quick, right? So interesting. And then lastly for the Chio Cup, another Blamire. So this one is just running the same combo. New guy, big dragon, but also old guy. Is it an old guy? The old demon. Calling that order to make you play chess. That gives you boost, right? So that's another one of those Blamire combos, right? So pretty nice. So that wasn't the only tournament that happened on the weekend. There was another unofficial one, but since this first week of the new set, we've got to take a look at it, right? So this one was the Ultimate Cup, and they had a bunch of decks. One thing that started taking notice is that because Blamire might be going up in just playability, like things like Razal taking in Leal suddenly becomes pretty decent, right? So you have the Keter pile engine and all that. Pop a Leal or 2 in there just to kind of hard counter, auto win some matchups. And they're just like going full on the dog as well to be able to call on like just the order. So pretty interesting to see. Right? Pretty interesting to see how the meta is developing. The next is like Vaga. So I think we kind of see the Vaga similar to this one. This one's not running the Virgila grade 1, but running 3 of the new Vagas there. And the rest of it, I guess it's just a Vaga deck, man. It's just a Vaga deck. This is the team that came first, though. And then we have a Michu as well. This Michu deciding to go full Hololive. We have to be careful that Blamire removes the effect. So could backfire. But if you're dedicated, this is not an issue, right? Yeah, Michu. I saw quite a lot at locals. In terms of big tournaments, this might be one of the few times it's like actually successful. But yeah, it just has like 4 drive check attacks, which is pretty pressure, right? It's pretty pressure. Next is just a Yotsuba deck. So what is we got quintuplets in one of our recent sets, and when we open them, they were all hot garbage. Let's put it that way. We were just going, this is way too late. But guess what? Yotsuba is still legit, right? Apparently, what you got to do is you got to just put in a bunch of generics. But one of the interesting generics is like this grade 1 that should be able to search out your most key pieces, right? Your most key orders. So that's nice to see. And then this one just kind of calls, right? You can kind of call, or just add something to hand. Add a normal order to hand. That's pretty good, right? pretty good. Just keep on adding this one to hand and just keep on using it every turn. And you'll alternate win condition eventually. So pretty nice, pretty nice. Next is just another Alen deck. So this one is built a bit more differently than the other one that we saw. Still running the Caterpillar though, but only 2 Teeth Felts and just running a few other things like the Counter Charger. And even just like this one bounces back to hand from Energy Blast 2. So that's nice. 4 Elmacs though, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, not running any of the PRs, but they also run one of this order that can kind of make multi-attacks too. Yeah, if needed, if very, very needed. But it's also, well, this one's not, actually they're not running the order grade 1, right? So it's not actually searchable. So just pray. Just pray that you get it. After that, we have a Luard. So this is just Hostage Luard. So again, like Hostage Luard's value can go up in play if your meta becomes more and more Bling Deck, right? Because then you can kind of set up those shields that you want to do and just make it so your opponent has a hard time. They have to like clean sweep the whole board kind of thing. In order to get past it. So pretty interesting. Like I like seeing these little meta differences, right? If something becomes good, then other people try playing different things and making it work, right? Next is another Equilibria. So again, you know, this is Brachio Force, Energy Cycler, and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's no Ford, there's no Shenry here, so it's just very normal, the overcharges. Okay, cool. And then another Blamire. So this one's just running the hostage, well, not the boost engine into the grade 2, which is cool. And running a red OT to be very offensive. And then after that, another Blamire. This one is also still running the order, but it's not running any of the, yeah. So this one would run the grade 2 that searches for it, but this one doesn't. So I think it's probably slightly more inconsistent. It does let you put in more cards, but yeah, it's less good in my opinion. And then after that, another Blamire, right? Blamire City. This one is not running any of the orders as well. So it's just fully relying on, I guess, things to hit big. Yeah, hit big enough to push damage early. And then lastly, we have is another Equilibria. And this one is, I really think this just feels like one of the builds that we built in the preliminary deck list, right? What is good? Put in the Restander, put in the Brachio Force, put in the Ford. They're all really good cards. If you're running 4, that means you can run Shenry's. Shenry's are 13k. Not as good as 18k on the overcharges, but early game, it can be pretty game deciding. So let's run that. And so it's not running any like order searches, grade 1, but you don't really have that much space. And do you really need it, right? Do you really need it when you've got the full posse here? Right, so that's pretty much all the list. There's a lot of Equilibria decks, right? Equilibria really showing itself to be the main deck. I was surprised that Impul got some tops. Of course, there is diversity, but still, Impul seems to be... there's some interesting techs, right? I remember I saw somewhere about like Monster Impul. I don't know. That just feels a bit scary. But that grade 2, the grade 2 that can like draw Soul Blast and discard is very important for the deck in my opinion. Just to generate stuff, right? And just to push early. Or otherwise you'll fall too far behind. That is all the list this week, right? Very quick. We just kind of went through all the new stuff. Obviously there's a lot more deck lists out there. You can go check them out on Fuzzy's website, or there were some deck codes that I flashed by. Make sure to use Japanese deck code. But set 4 seems pretty interesting. If you're a Dragon Empire fan, you're going to be very happy. If you're not, I don't know. Right? There's maybe not so interesting for you then. Yeah, that's it for me this week. We'll be doing more on top decks later on and looking at more decks. So cool. See you all then. All right, bye.